Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's MRN's Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products, setting you up for the big race weekend, and we have got a big one for you. Oh, mama. It's going to be some good stuff this weekend. In Pennsylvania, it's the Tuscarora 50.
Yep.
Oh, boy, the old Speed Palace will be rocking. Fair week, fair food, oh, my gosh, going to be nuts. And then you're going to throw about 50 race cars, maybe 60 race cars out there. All-Stars and Brownie and Pennsylvania, and oh my gosh, going to be wild. On the other side of the country, the World of Outlaws with the Gold Cup. And we talked a little bit about this on Tuesday. There's some pretty fast California cars. And they're hoping to maybe trip up the posse when they roll in town. So a lot of racing on both ends of the country as far as that goes. Our friends at IRA and MOA, they have doubleheader weekends and some tracks wrapping up their season. So still a lot going on as we are into September along the way. Now on Monday afternoon at Port Royal, it was Erin Reutzel picking up the win in the Labor Day Fair Special, the afternoon classic. And he's hoping that sets him up. He's the point leader for the Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions. And he's hoping that sets him up for a big payday this weekend, and we will talk to Erin next.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Built in the USA, HRP is the manufacturer of the original recessed rivet wing, including their premier Shark Wing series, as well as the new Racer Series Sprint Car Wing. Hefner Racing Products wings are available for sprint cars, mini and micro sprints, winged outlaw karts, and junior sprints. HRP is the leader in mule conversions, manufactures and sells a full line of sprint car components, including Nerf bars and bumpers, front axles, precision laser cut chassis building tabs, brackets, tubes, and spuds. HRP has the absolute largest selection of trailer and shop accessories available to sprint car racers. When it comes to setting up your trailer or shop, HRP is the choice for the best in trailer and shop storage and organization accessories. Hefner Racing Products. Visit them and shop online at hrpracing.com. Now back to the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, presented by Hefner Racing Products.
Thanks for joining us. It is MRN's Wing Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products. www.hrpracing.com is where you can find all the good stuff there. Joining us on the hotline, a guy that ain't scared of the gas pedal, that's for sure. This guy will roll, and what better place to roll than a place called the Speed Palace. Picked up the win on Monday in the Labor Day Classic, and looking forward to potentially cashing a big check this weekend in the Tuscarora 50. Erin Reutzel's on the line. Hello, Erin. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Well, Erin, first off, congratulations on that win Monday. I may be guessing here, but I'm suspecting you've got a pretty good amount of confidence going into this weekend's Tuscarora 50.
I'd definitely say it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
We seem to get around that place pretty good, so definitely confident for a good showing.
Erin, even though Monday was a day show, I know you said you learned a few things. What may or you may not have learned running a day show in preparation for the Tuscarora 50?
Well, I liked going there being a day show because you knew it was going to slick off. So that's something we've really been wanting to go there and test a few things on when it gets really slick. And, we figured out a few things that we liked and then a few things that we didn't like. So that definitely helps a lot going into that place.
Erin, one of the things this year, as we followed along with you this season, you have taken every opportunity on the planet. You get. It seems like you get rained out in Texas, and you guys will make a beeline for Port Royal. What's there about that place that has intrigued you? That you've just. What's there about that place that makes every time we turn around, you're there?
Well, I just love racing there in general. It's so much fun. It's always racy. It's always top to bottom. the fans, the owner, everything about that place is just awesome, and it pays really good there. So yeah, I mean the Tuscarora pays really good. So that's one of those places I feel like you need to be good at to make a little bit of money.
Absolutely. Erin, you took over the points lead in the All-Stars recently. You got the Tuscarora 50 going up. Does it change your approach at all when you know you're the points leader? Do you worry any more about consistency, or are you just doing your usual thing and ripping the top and winning some races?
Well, unfortunately, I have been racing a little bit that way, just making sure we finish at races and whatnot. But going into the Tuscarora, I'm going to throw the points out the window and just focus on running up front. Because when we go there for weekly shows, or even when we went there for the All-Star show in the beginning of the year, it was just the second race of the year and wasn't thinking about points at all. And, we ran good there. So that's going to be our mindset going in there, that we're just there to have a good showing and try to win the Tuscarora.
Erin, when we look at your season, you're making the decision to go, and I think we've talked to you a little bit about this, but I just think it bears repeating. You roll into the All-Star Circuit of Champions. I know everyone has expectations and everyone has desires and dreams and everything like that. I would guess you're pretty content, a pretty good season, leading the points there and getting situated with a lot of different racetracks. It's a huge challenge, but how content are you with the way this season has gone?
I couldn't be more proud, more happy on how everything went. We sat down. You always have goals starting out the year, and our goal was just to be competitive, just to be in the hunt for the championship. Never did I think it would be like this with this many wins, but I just wanted to be in the hunt. I didn't want to just get blown out of the water. I wanted to win a few races. Just be running up front and be competitive was our goal.
Well, I'd say you've certainly done that. We talked with Tim Schaefer on Tuesday about the Tuscarora 50 laps. There's a break halfway, but it's for fuel only, or maybe some adjustments, but you don't get another right rear tire. When you look at that race as a driver, I know Tim talked about trying to maintain for a little bit, but do you approach it any different than normal race?
Yeah, you're really going to have to maintain and save your stuff, where that's going to be tough, because Monday I was going all out every lap, and I didn't have much tire left, where like Lance, they're so good that he can maintain and still he can save his tires and still be racing for the lead. To where, we're not at that level yet. We have to race hard to race for a lead. So that's going to be tough. We were able to do it at the 100,000 to win. The first half, I just saved my tire the whole race, or the whole first half. And then I think I fell back to fourth saving my tires, but I still had a lot of tire left at the halfway point. So, hopefully a main time will be starting up front to where I can just save my stuff. And if I fall back a little bit, I don't fall back too far. And because that's definitely tire game is gonna be a huge part of winning that race.
Boy, that's for sure, and that's a good point with that 100,000 to win. You were fast at the end of it, as Tim Schaefer and others know. That's for sure. Final question for you here, Erin, and I want to step back about a month ago. The Knoxville Nationals, what a run you had, and it was. I mean, obviously Brad got all the attention because he won the race and he beat Donnie and everything, and obviously Kyle Larson gets a lot of attention wherever he goes in a sprint car, but to be in the same conversation, to be on the same straightaway, to be in the same league, up in the top 5 for that. I know you went there to win the race. I get it. You're the third guy that didn't win the race, but you had to come out of Knoxville with your head high. When you're seeing those guys at the end of the Knoxville Nationals, you're closing in on something pretty sweet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we put a lot of effort into that race, just building a car just for that race and stuff like that. So to go, everyone says their goal is to win it, but our goal when we first go there is just to make the A main, because you're not going to win it if you're not in the A. And that's, I think, to me, that's the hardest part of the Nationals, is just making the A. So then running fourth at the Nationals was definitely pretty awesome, and then the payday afterwards was really great too.
Yeah, boy, they pay some money out there. That's for sure. All right, how about the family traveling around the country? Everyone doing good with the road trips?
everyone's been doing good. They went home this week. Carson starts his first day of school today, and Riley's going to kindergarten, trying that out. So we got some pictures this morning of them, and Shelby said Carson was excited about going to school. Riley didn't know too much about it. So we'll see, waiting to see how all that went.
Well, there we go. There you have it. Life goes on despite the racing world, or alongside of the racing world. Erin, congratulations on the win on Monday, and best of fortune this weekend up at Port Royal.
Thank you, guys.
There we go. Erin Reutzel joining us. You know, you mentioned the question, the conserving, and immediately in my mind, I'm like, oh, boy, Reutzel.
Well, that's what I thought,
that's
too.
That's not his style.
Yeah.
But when you think about that race at Mansfield, he did a great job with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's a gasser.
Exactly. That's why I asked him about it. But even talking about watching Lance on Monday, that was neat. He knew that I'm sure he went over and checked Lance's tire after the race and thought, all right, he's doing something he's a little more conservative than me.
Got to see what it is. And that's the thing. I mean, like I said, when you want elbows up racer, Reutzel's as good as they come. But this is one of those where you're going to have to be. But again, that $100,000 to win race, man, he had that thing rolling at the end of it. So fascinating stuff. That is all part of the Tuscarora 50, and it is this weekend, the 51st annual Tuscarora 50. Friday night, the night before the 50, show that pays $5,000 to win. Saturday, the Tuscarora 50, $51,000 to the winner, $106 total purse, $1,000 to start. So lots and lots of guys are going to get nice paychecks along the way. Last year, it was Lance Deweese. He swept the weekend, and it was his 6th Tuscarora 50, the most of anybody. And if you're in front of that 69K car toward the end of this one, you might be cashing a big check this year.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're getting ready to be lapped. One or the other. That's just they'll be rolling up there, and I think it's such a wonderful event for sure, and the fair and everything else. As we talked about at the top of the show, the other side of the country, the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Cars, they are preparing for the 65th Gold Cup Race of Champions. It is at Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California, and this is another one of those big events along the way. They actually have some racing out there tonight. If you're watching this on Thursday, USAC and CRA. They have a black light party, and then Friday and Saturday night, World of Outlaw Sprints versus the California drivers. Oh, Erin,
yeah,
it's going to be epic right
and
here.
It's such a great racetrack. It's small and it's racy and it's usually heavy, and I think it actually leans a little towards the California drivers. They're used to those little bull rings, so it's going to be fun to watch. You know,
I looked at the results of this thing. I was reading a story about it earlier this week, and like 6 of the last 8 have been won by California drivers. Now Kyle Larson has won a couple of them. Rico's won. Just there's been it's been a really good track for the California racers. It really has.
It's such a great track.
Such a great track. Okay, beyond that, on Friday they have the Clyde Lamar Golf Tournament. They also this weekend have a chili feed. Oh, you kidding me? I mean, I learned that when I was out at Watsonville. When there's people on the West Coast involved with racing, they eat. They eat. The Kadings, they had a party on Friday night after the race, a pizza party, and then a party on Saturday before the race. I mean, I walked out of there both days thinking, man, I'm at Thanksgiving. I had that turkey coma without the turkey. They're having a chili feed. And then also this weekend, they have the Miss Gold Cup Bikini Contest. So there you go. A little bit of something for everybody there.
Yeah, it's usually a small party surrounding that race.
There's a small party surrounding that race, exactly. Yeah. I think that was the one where they did one of the game shows a couple years ago. They did like the newlywed game, but they paired drivers together or something. So who knows? Great fun out there. Another one of those great weekends out in Chico, California. IRA Bumper to Bumper Sprints, they've got a pair of races. Oh, yeah, they keep racing up in Wisconsin. They ain't scared of a little chilly weather. Gondik Law Speedway in Superior, Wisconsin on Friday night. Cedar Lake Speedway, New Richmond, Wisconsin on Saturday. The Built Ford Tough MOA Sprints, delivered by Morrow Brothers Ford. They've got a couple. They're right at their home track, Jacksonville, Illinois, on Friday night, the Herb Barlow Memorial. And on Saturday, they're at Spoon River Speedway in Canton, Illinois for the Tom Knowles Memorial. I think Ashley was at Spoon River recently. She may have a vlog on our wingnation.com. So Moa's going to be there. And the 410 Racing, the NOSA Sprints are Friday night at River City Speedway, the best dirt track. Saturday, lots of racing. Atomic Speedway, Chillicothe. Butler Motor Speedway is going to crown some champions up in Quincy, Michigan. The Fast Series is at Fremont. It is the Apple Festival weekend at Sharon Speedway. And St. Francis County Raceway has weekly racing action as well. Our friends over at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, they're off. They got a few weeks off, September 20th and 20th to the 22nd. They'll be at Lucas Oil Speedway. Quiet week, really, across the board. Last weekend, they had about 72 races across all the tours. This weekend, the Frontier region up in Gallatin Speedway in Belgrade, Montana, for the ASCS Frontier region. So lots and lots of great stuff happening along the way.
Our list is starting to get a little shorter, though.
I know,
it's getting
exactly.
to be that time of year.
Yes, we're getting to that time of year where fewer and fewer races coming up. That's why it's important you get out to the race, okay? That's why it's next week. Now, you're going to Indy this week.
Yeah,
to
the
do this.
Brickyard.
I'm going to, so you're going up there to do, when are you going up there?
Friday.
So, yeah, you're going up there, so you won't be able to see the midgets. I know our Rip the Fence guys
I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, we have this podcast called Rip the Fence. Tyler Burnett and Dylan Welch. Dylan's in that race.
Yeah,
okay?
they've got 118 cars in it or some crazy number.
And
like
Tyler's going up there. They're going to have all kinds of fun stuff on Rip the Fence. They're going to be walking around. Those two knuckleheads will be walking around and talking to people.
I just hope they leave it and maybe bring some sprint cars in.
That's it, exactly. Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking. So yeah, our friends at Rip the Fence. Make sure you follow along with them. That's a big weekend for those guys. I'm going to do Saturday. I think I'm going to see the beloved Modifieds over at Caraway.
Nice.
Next weekend, my buds with the USCS National Tour come through town. So I may have to go see
Pete
all
and
my
the
friends
boys.
there. Yes, see Morgan and the boys.
Yes.
Morgan and the boys.
Back
exactly.
in Victory Lane this past week.
Yes, she did. Yes, picked up a win this past weekend. Good for her. So, good stuff. Fun stuff along the way. So, great stuff. Hey, you can follow along on wingnation.com. And if you can't make it to these races, we have our broadcast calendar there. And, man, that is so cool because you just mash the button and you can go right straight to whether it's Dirt Vision or Racing Boys or Speed Shift or the Cushion. You can do whatever you want there as far as our broadcast calendar. So, great stuff there. Great stuff as well from our friends at Hefner Racing Products. Just wonderful people. They're racers. They love the racing, love the racing business. And, I would sit here and list everything they have, but it would work right through the Tuscarora 50, okay, because they got more stuff up there. And so the way to figure this out is just go to www.hrpracing.com. That's hrpracing.com. We appreciate their support of this program, certainly along the way. So this weekend, it is the Tuscarora 50. You'll be following along with that. And this weekend on MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, we're going to talk to Brent Kading. How about that? Talking about California. We're going to talk to Brent Kading on the Sage Fruit Show, 8:30 and 11:30 a.m. on MAV TV. Thanks for joining us here today.
This has been the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, brought to you by Hefner Racing Products. The Wing Nation Weekend Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.